Hashtag the Galactic Council deceived humanity. Part 1. Captain Sarah Chun stood at the observation deck of humanity's first interstellar diplomatic vessel, the Harmony. Through the reinforced windows, she watched the massive structure of Galactic Council Station grow larger as they approached. The station was beautiful in its alien design. Crystalline spires twisted around metallic cores, with energy fields shimmering between them like aurora dancing in space. "First time seeing it never gets old," said Commander James Rodriguez, joining her at the window. His weathered face showed both excitement and concern. "Hard to believe we're actually here." Sarah nodded, remembering the day everything changed for humanity. It was only 3 years ago when the Galactic Council made first contact with Earth. Their message had been simple. Humanity was invited to join the galactic community as a junior member species. The offer came with promises of advanced technology, peaceful trade relationships, and protection from hostile alien races that roamed the galaxy. The people of Earth had celebrated for weeks. Finally, they weren't alone in the universe. Finally, they had friends among the stars who would guide them to a brighter future. The Council had seemed so benevolent, so wise. Representatives from 12 different alien species had visited Earth, sharing stories of their peaceful civilization that spanned thousands of worlds. "Captain," came a voice from behind them. Lieutenant Maria Santos approached with a datapad in her hands. "We're receiving the docking clearance now. The Council is ready for our arrival." Sarah took a deep breath. This was humanity's chance to prove themselves worthy of full membership in the Galactic Council. For 3 years, humans had worked tirelessly to meet every requirement the Council had set for them. They had dismantled their military fleets, redirected defense budgets toward peaceful research, and even removed weapons from their space stations as requested by their new alien friends. The Council had explained that such measures were necessary for any species wanting to join their peaceful alliance. War, they said, was a primitive concept that advanced civilizations had long since abandoned. Humanity needed to evolve beyond their violent tendencies to earn their place among the enlightened races of the galaxy. As the Harmony docked with the station, Sarah felt a mix of pride and nervousness. She was leading humanity's most important diplomatic mission ever. The Council had finally agreed to consider Earth for full membership, which would grant humans access to their most advanced technologies and full voting rights in galactic decisions. The airlock hissed open, and Sarah led her small diplomatic team into the station. The corridors were magnificent, with walls that seemed to pulse with soft light and floors that felt like walking on clouds. Alien beings of various shapes and sizes moved through the hallways, some hovering, others walking on multiple legs, a few that seemed to phase in and out of visibility. Their escort was a tall, elegant being called Zephyr from the Altarian species. Zephyr had pale blue skin that sparkled like starlight and large, intelligent eyes that seemed to hold centuries of wisdom. Like all Council representatives, Zephyr spoke perfect English, having downloaded human languages in preparation for this meeting. "Welcome, Captain Chun," Zephyr said in a melodious voice that seemed to harmonize with itself. "The Council is most eager to meet with you. Your species has shown remarkable progress in such a short time." As they walked through the station, Sarah noticed something that made her pause. In one of the side corridors, she glimpsed what looked like massive cargo holds filled with ships. Not Council ships with their organic, flowing designs, but vessels that looked distinctly different. Some appeared damaged, as if they had been in battles. "Were those ships?" she asked Zephyr. The alien's expression didn't change, but there was a slight pause before answering. "Oh, those are historical exhibits. We preserve vessels from species that have moved beyond the need for such primitive transportation." Something about the answer felt rehearsed, but Sarah decided not to press the issue. This was too important a moment to risk with unnecessary questions. The Council chamber was breathtaking. 12 massive seats arranged in a circle, each designed for a different alien physiology. Floating platforms allowed the various Council members to position themselves at the perfect height and angle. The center of the chamber contained a holographic display that could show anything from star maps to molecular structures. Council Prime Axiom, a being that looked like living liquid metal formed into a roughly humanoid shape, gestured for Sarah and her team to take their positions in the center. The other council members, representing species with names like the Vorthack, Kalani, Zephyrians, and others, turned their attention to the humans. Humans of Earth. Prime Axiom's voice resonated from everywhere and nowhere at once. You have come far in your journey toward enlightenment. Your species has shown willingness to abandon the primitive ways of conflict and embrace the path of peace we have laid before you. Sarah felt her heart swell with pride. Thank you, Prime Axiom. Humanity is honored to be considered for full membership in the Galactic Council. We have worked hard to meet every requirement you've set for us. Indeed, said Counselor Vex of the Vorthack, a being that resembled a massive insect with crystalline wings. You have dismantled your military forces, converted your weapons facilities to peaceful research centers, and redirected your defensive capabilities toward humanitarian efforts. Most impressive. Commander Rodriguez stepped forward. We've also begun implementing the social reforms you suggested. Our educational systems now emphasize cooperation over competition, and we've restructured our governments to focus on collective decision-making rather than individual leadership. The council members made approving sounds, their various forms of communication creating a symphony of alien voices. Sarah felt a warm glow of accomplishment. Everything humanity had worked for was finally coming to fruition. However, Prime Axiom continued, and Sarah felt her stomach drop slightly. There remains one final test before we can grant your species full membership. We're prepared for whatever test you deem necessary, Sarah said quickly. Counselor Marin of the Kalani, a being that looked like a walking tree with glowing fruit for eyes, leaned forward. This test is not one of knowledge or ability, but of trust. We must be certain that humanity truly embraces our peaceful ways. Prime Axiom activated the holographic display, showing a three-dimensional map of local space. Several star systems were highlighted in red, pulsing ominously. There exists in this sector a species known as the Void Reapers, Prime Axiom explained. They are everything the Galactic Council stands against, violent, aggressive, and bent on conquest. They have been raiding peaceful worlds, destroying entire civilizations, and consuming resources without regard for the consequences. The hologram zoomed in on one particular system, showing planets that appear to be under attack. Ships swarmed around the worlds like angry insects, and the surfaces of the planets showed the scars of orbital bombardment. The Council has long sought a peaceful solution to this problem, continued Prime Axiom, but the Void Reapers refuse all attempts at diplomacy. They respond only to force, which puts us in a difficult position. Sarah began to understand where this was heading, but she waited for the Council to continue. As a test of humanity's commitment to our cause, said Counselor Vex, we ask that your species deal with this Void Reaper threat. Use whatever methods you deem necessary, but eliminate them as a danger to peaceful species throughout the galaxy. Commander Rodriguez frowned. But you've asked us to dismantle our military capabilities. How are we supposed to fight an aggressive alien species with peaceful research vessels? Counselor Marin's fruit eyes glowed brighter. We have prepared special vessels for this task. Ships equipped with the advanced weapons technology that full council members have access to. Consider this both a test and a gift, a preview of what humanity will gain through full membership. Sarah felt uneasy. Something about this request seemed to contradict everything the council had taught them about peace and nonviolence. But perhaps this was different. Perhaps sometimes violence was necessary to protect the innocent. How long do we have to consider this? She asked. Time is of the essence, Prime Axiom replied. The Void Reapers grow stronger each day. We would need your answer within the next solar cycle. As Sarah and her team were escorted to guest quarters aboard the station, her mind raced with questions. This was the opportunity humanity had dreamed of, but something felt wrong. The Council had spent 3 years teaching them that violence was primitive and that advanced species had evolved beyond such things. Now, they were asking humans to become their soldiers. That night, unable to sleep in the alien quarters with their strange geometry and shifting lights, Sarah found herself wandering the corridors of the station. Most areas were restricted to diplomatic personnel, but her credentials gave her access to several observation decks and common areas. It was during this late-night walk that she stumbled upon something that would change everything. In a section of the station that appeared to be under construction, she found herself looking through a transparent wall into what seemed to be a storage facility. Row upon row of stasis pods stretched into the distance, each one containing what appeared to be a humanoid figure. But these weren't humans.